I got my eye on the 9.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Bring this meeting to order. This is Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. Please, I need an emotion to approve the board minutes of July 1st, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve the board minutes as written.
I'll second the motion.
Any comments, discussion regarding the minutes, any changes, etc.?
No.
Okay, let's have a vote, please. It's unanimous. Second, I need a motion to approve the payment of claims in accordance with the Indiana State Board of Accounts, Code 5-11-10-1.6, C bracket.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. A discussion on the claims? Richard, you got anything to
I'll
say?
you discuss it. I don't know what it is.
Is it just a single page?
That's it? Yep.
Okay, all
Same
right.
thing.
I was used to seeing more. I lost it. I thought I lost it. Okay, thank
She
you.
was on vacation last week.
I don't have time to go.
So that's it. Anything else? Okay, we'll take a vote now. It's unanimous. Thank you. Number 3, the next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, August the 5th, 2026, at 4 p.m. in this room. Do we have any, number 4, public comment?
None.
Do we have any public?
Nobody from the public here?
Thank you. Do we have any old business? I was thinking I was gonna bring something up.
None.
Okay, new business. 6A, approve the Peru Municipal Water Utility SRF disbursement, request number 5, attachment 6A. Need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve SRF disbursement request number 5, attachment 6A.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion on this?
This is for phase 2. It's the engineering for phase 2. So we got a few waters on here. Just want to clarify that that's for phase 2, the 10 million.
Phase 2, what is that?
Lead service
exactly?
line.
The
So
what?
this is the 10 million bucket
Okay.
up to the lead service line. Replacement.
Any others? Ready for a vote? It's unanimous. B, 6B, approve Peru Municipal Water Utility SRF disbursement request number 22.
I'll make a motion to accept attachment 6B.
Second the motion.
Thank you.
So the next 3 are for Peru water, but they're the phase 1 for the initial 5 million.
Okay. Anything else? Take a vote. Approved, unanimous. 6C, approve Peru Municipal Water Utility SRF disbursement request number 23.
Make a motion to approve disbursement 23.
I'll second the request or motion.
Thank you. Discussion, please. Do you have a comment about this, Josh?
Nope, that's phase 1
Okay.
water.
All right. Let's see, that's right. 23, yeah. We take a vote. Unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to 6D. Approve Peru Municipal Water Utility SRF disbursement request number 24.
Make a motion to accept attachment 6D. On our lead line.
Thank you.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion, please.
That was part of the filter media replacement. perfect. This one came from Thieneman. Is doing that
Okay.
Part of phase one.
as part of phase one.
Anything else? Take a vote. Okay. We do get lost.
6E.
We approved 6D,
6E.
and we're ready for 6E.
E, there we go, thank you. You guys going fast. Okay. 6E. Approve Peru Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 84 to Hazen and Sawyer. Need a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to accept attachment 6E.
Second the motion?
Discussion, please?
Is,
For the wastewater plant.
that's not cleaning that tank, is it?
No.
That's not the one for cleaning the tank, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, we'll go for a vote then. 6E. It is unanimous. 6F. Approve Peru Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 85 to Thieneman Construction.
I'll make a motion to approve attachment 6F.
Thank you.
No, motion, I'll second the motion.
Okay. How about a little discussion?
No. No, I don't have anything. It's just Thieneman also has the contract for the construction of wastewater plant, so that's what
That's
this,
it.
that's what
All
this is for.
Okay.
My brain was thinking 2 letters ahead.
Lucky you. We'll take a vote. It's unanimous. G. 6G, removal XL sludge from the W wastewater
I believe that
tanks.
should say
Should say
excess.
excess.
Yeah, I think it's just misprinted on the agenda.
Oh, it's excess?
Yeah.
Extra.
SS. Oh, okay. Sludge from the wastewater plant tanks, attachment 6G.
I'll make a motion to accept 6G.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so initially, what was built into the contract of the project was essentially half of what they ended up pulling out from cleaning these tanks. Again, this is one of those, something that's in our maintenance playbook, in our maintenance plan. What wasn't necessarily in the maintenance plan of previous administrations. Every 5 years or so, this should be done. And again, this is one of those where this whole project had to be done, and I can't speak for, so there was more in there than what was initially estimated. This is outside of the project, the scope of the project, so this will be funded by the operational expense. We have adequate balances on the OpEx side in cash to pay for this, $317,857.91.
The extra money we're gonna save on the contract possibly will pay for this.
Correct. If we have any left over in that contract, and we believe that we will, and there's an excess of we think $1.2 million at this point. And we'll ask, but we have to pay for it and then ask for reimbursement at the end of this project, that portion of the project, the plant portion. So we are 99.9% sure that we are going to get this money back, but we will have to cash fund this in the meantime over the next 4 to 6 months.
And where are we gonna get rid of all of this?
That
Wheeling Brothers, the company that did this for us, they have a biosolids storage facility that they take it to. They also do all sorts of things with biosolids from other communities. They take it to this facility and then they have their own land application permits where they apply it to farm fields.
So it will not be applied to the field beside the facility?
It will not, it's already gone.
And if we were to, instead of land apply, have land apply contracts and permits and take it to a special dump, you might as well double that, maybe even triple that cost.
Wow.
And that's, we have land apply permits for our sludge pond over there already on both Grissom and Peru, so.
Okay. I'll ask for a vote, please.
I did have one other question. It says that these are from, the tanks plural, so is that all of the tanks have been cleaned out? Okay, and so then we're expecting what, to budget for this again in 5 years, but hopefully at a much lower volume?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, I just want to kind of clarify that.
I couldn't tell you how many years.
Right, that's gonna be the next question, is do we know how long it's been since it happened?
Never.
Okay,
That
well,
plant's been there 22 years now.
all right.
It still functioned properly, but that's not how we operate. That's not how our maintenance plan works.
Do we
how our
anticipate
budgeting
that
works, but-
giving us like, I mean, obviously removing that much is gonna change a lot about the water conditions, even though it's constantly cycled. So do we see that as, because we'll have a much larger volume to process, do we think that's maybe gonna help with efficiency, or is that, well, especially with the upgrades coming and with us trying to push as much as we can with the storage project and all?
It's weird right now because we're still on half a plant. So they emptied the first 4 tanks and we ran on the dirty second 4 tanks. And they cleaned all those out and then we moved everything to the new clean first 4.
Okay, so
and
that's
we
already
have
been
now
done.
emptied.
Okay,
Now they've just finished emptying the second. We needed to get this empty because there's equipment on the bottom, there's diffusers and things for aeration.
And we put pictures up of those, I believe, a couple.
right, yes.
So we needed these empty to even do this work.
Okay.
But then, yeah, the plant's acting weird, and I think it's gonna be even weirder when the whole thing's empty.
But good weird.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, you know,
different but good different.
you know, you don't change the oil for how many years, and then one day you do, and the car's like, oh, well, hey, I'm not sure how to act.
Yeah, okay,
I think we're gonna do a lot better with nutrient removal.
good.
Okay. Are we ready to vote? Okay, thank you, it's unanimous. Next, we have city administration update. The mayor is not here today, so we'll call on Mr. Stevenson.
I don't have anything for you.
Oh. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, well, we'll get, city attorney Dustin?
We are waiting on an appraisal for that property out by 31, one that we've discussed time and time again, the overpass. So, an appraisal not for the property itself, but just for what the value of our whole location would be.
One that's been there for 20 years or more,
It's been there longer than that.
longer than that.
I think,
Yes,
what,
that-
94 or something? I thought I'd seen something.
In the 90s, yes, sir.
32
That's
years.
really, really new though. Kinda, sorta, if you're old, it's new. Okay. Is that it? Is that all for you?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we have manager's report.
Thank you. So we have a hole in the Galahans Tower, the northwest tower, up around the P. It was doing that on the ground itself. It was peeing on the ground.
Excuse me.
That specific tower was inspecting 24. Came back okay. We are going to, obviously, someone was in today
Someone was in today.
to look at the tower and get us a couple contractors that can weld that hole, and we're gonna re-inspect the tower on the inside. When we did it 2 years ago, typically they used the little remote control. We're gonna have to take the tower out of service to do it this time, so we'll have another inspection there. So we'll give you a timeline on that. It's what would you say? It's 80% volume at this point, where they lowered the tower just below where the hole is, so it's still operational. And so it's not impacting operations at all at this point. So we'll give you a timeline on the repair and let you know that it is repaired and then touched up on the inside as far as coating goes. Our next tower that we want to paint and refurb on the inside was going to be the Duke's Tower. There in the Duke's. It may change. We may swap those. And I believe that we were going to do that. Is that next year?
Next year do the engineering and 28 do the tower.
Yeah. So we might have to swap those depending on what the inspection is, physical inspection is going to be on those. So
We believe this one's never been repainted, so
yeah.
somewhere around late 90s, early
That tells you
2000s.
anything. Tired of having this discussion. You guys are tired of hearing it.
How does it happen? I mean, is the hole inspected? Is it like a split or?
It is a rust spot at a joint between two pieces of steel. So the weld, the weld itself must not have gotten painted adequately, but it also has lasted going on 30 years.
Right.
So
Right.
you can't complain.
And you really got to turn these around between 10 and 15 years. So
2 years ago, this was inspected.
it was, yes,
Mhm.
yeah. And
And
they did
Nothing
see this.
showed up.
No.
There was a note that there was some rough spots along the weld seams on the interior of the tower, but none to be excessively concerned about.
And our priority was at the time was the reservoir tower up that we've already painted up here. That was our priority because that one was
That we had patched that one.
yeah, we had patched that one before, so we'll get it fixed, and then we'll reassess our tower painting order right after that. So we'll keep you posted.
What tower was that again?
Well, I call it the Galton Hands. It's the northwest tower. It's up there by the truck stop. That is it Galton Hands anymore? JJ's now.
Yeah, I think it's now JJ's.
31 and 100 north.
I think they still own the truck stop itself, like that portion, but then they have the leases with Subway and McDonald's and all that. So they still tout it as family owned, so I would imagine the truck stop portion.
So we also made the project priority list for next fiscal year for lead service lines. And we have been offered another $5 million to close in quarter four, fiscal quarter four, which would be April 1st to June 30th of 27. Again, at least 50% being a grant. And that was their wording, is at least 50%. However, the caveat that they allowed us to bypass, and they were nice enough to let us do, is that 75% of the funds of our previous grants and financing has to be spent, which is just not possible. It's a 2-year contract for $10 million. And the initial bid was basically half of what we had. So we have to spend the rest of that money. We have to get the contractor to stay, or get a new contractor to finish that additional. It's in the $4 million range. So we don't believe. Now we're going to continue to assess this, because if I can beg and plead for them to waive that for us once again, we need to take what we can get. And initially, we feel like with us looking at financially rates and revenue and at the initial Baker Tilly review, just a brief overview, not nuts and bolts, that we could actually probably absorb that and not have a rate increase at 2.5 million at 0%. If they offer 0% again, that's not guaranteed. We just got the initial, hey, you guys scored, the money's there, do you want it? It's one of those things, because we ask for it every year, every time because we're on the project list every year, we make sure we're there. But I don't, if they don't waive that, it's not, we won't even qualify. So we'll keep working on them. We have to provide them our intent by the end of this month, and I believe we're going to, unless they just flat out say we're not even discussing it. We're not discussing that because we can't. There's no way we're going to be spending $7.5 million for phase 2 by March of next year. There's just no way. It's a 2-year contract.
So is it the same percentage that was waived last time?
Yes. Yes. And we would not have made it this last time either, which would
Do
have
you
been
think
unfortunate.
it will have any meaning if we already have that work on contract, like with NEMS for the phase 2? Because that'll consume another 4.8 million. I guess maybe we don't know that yet.
Yeah, we don't know that yet. But that's one of the questions we're going to ask. It's a good question for sure. Hey, like if it's contracted,
We've
will you
already
give
got
us
a contract, and it's just about getting
help us?
contractors.
It's
And they-
pre-spent.
And the state's been absolutely wonderful. There's not a, I don't have a crossword or an irritated, I don't know that we've ever even been irritated with them. Like, oh, what is this? It's been like, oh, great, this is great. They're so good at working with us. And I mean, we go out there with our hands out every time we talk to them. I mean, they got to get so sick of us going, hey, we're a disadvantaged community. Hey, help us out. And we're not bashful about it. And they've just been awesome. So, we're going to go out with both our hands out, maybe 4 or 5 sets. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. They're extremely nice in the last one and waived that for us. So let's not get our hopes up and say it's going to happen again. But I just want to let you know we did score. We're on the PPL like we try to be every year, and we were in the fundable range. And now for another 5 million, 50% is a grant. So we're going to try to take advantage of that. And that would, by some strange chance we get it, that's 20 million of a $38 million project, and only 10 million of that borne by the ratepayers. So, and if not, maybe there'll be some in the 2028 fiscal year. Filter media replacement progress. They've got 2 of the filters done. If you've noticed, some of those pallets have kind of gone away. You really can't tell from the back side, but on the front side you can see where they've been doing them. They're working on the next 2 right now. They got the coating done.
They're down to the under drains. They said those look pretty good.
Yeah.
Those troughs are steel and not aluminum, so they don't have to be sandblasted. So we're going to get credit back for that changeover, some credit back for that changeover we had to do. So likely we'll be seeing them putting in media and putting those back in service in the next 2 weeks.
And moving on to the next 2. So I know it doesn't look like there's a lot. I mean, because you can only see the pallets on the back, but that project's still moving forward, and it's looking really good. The next meeting, the 5th of August meeting, I'll be in New York with IMPA, paid for by IMPA, not per utilities ratepayers, to meet with Standard & Poor, Moody's, and Fitch, the 3 large rating agencies, we go meet with them every year about our the IMPA's bond rating, which is extremely important when it comes to all the generation assets that IMPA owns that we're a member of. So I'll be there. Michelle is going to run the meeting. She won the lottery. So she's excited. So that'll be the 4th through the 7th. But of course my phone will be on because I'll be working.
Did they request the board chairman to go with you to New York?
Yep.
Did
Vacation.
you say yes?
Come on out. It's really awesome that because I get to speak on behalf of Peru to the three largest rating agencies, and not just about IMPA, because of course I'm going to take the opportunity to say, look, Peru's growing. Peru, look at the people that we have, look at the opportunities that we have. So I do it to all of them, and not every community does. I'm not unique in that regard, but and so I think it's important that we get represented everywhere we can, and it's also a huge learning experience because it's New York, and
Yeah, I look forward
and
to
these
going.
guys have been doing it forever. All right, let me know.
Josh, do the majority of the AMPA communities send a representative?
No, I'm the vice chair of the executive board, and then of course there's the chair of the board, and then there's 5 other executive board members, and then we're all invited to go, and most of them go to represent their communities and IMPA. So it's kind of an honor to go.
Yeah.
It's good for you. And thanks for speaking up so well for Peru.
I try to.
Good,
There's a lot of good things to say about Peru and the people here. So.
very much so.
Anything on long-term control plan
I haven't heard anything.
other than moving forward with the plant and still looking at substantial completion in the fall, sometime on the plant side of it.
We have been, this week and the beginning of next week, we're going to be going up and down the corridor that they're going to be doing and assessing for the lead service line portion of that, because that's gonna fall under lead service line phase 2. But under that project, we're trying to assess, we know they're gonna do all the lead service lines on the road that these pipes are going down, but at all the intersections, someone's going to have to do those, especially if they come to that street. So we're trying to assess, okay, which of these houses is going to be part of what Bowen does and which is going to be a part of what NIMS does.
And along those lines, we're still looking for ROEs. We're just still above 50%, but not much. Continue to go door to door. Continue to put flyers in their mailbox, not in their mailboxes, on the outside of their doors. We do it in the evening. We do it during the day. And we're going to have to keep in the back of our mind that there's going to need to be a resolution sometime soon about disconnecting customers because they have lead service lines and did not take the opportunity to do it for free or at no cost to them. It's nothing's for free.
What's our timeline look at as far as when we need to have all those taken care of? Because projecting ahead of that, well, if we're gonna do some kind of a notice to disconnect for lead service, I'd imagine we probably need to be able to announce it and blah, 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 put it out to customers, so. How,
Likely be an ordinance.
It'll have to be in the ordinance.
city ordinance?
It'll have to be in the ordinance.
Okay. I would assume that that's the way it would work, but projecting out this way from it, how soon do we see, like, if we're not at 90% of the ROEs, by what day do we need to be working on an ordinance? I mean,
So for phase 1, the door has closed.
Yeah.
The contractor needed a drop dead date to be able to start going down the roads and finishing all the complete replacements so that he could pave. Phase 2, we're just getting started. It's a 2-year project, but I would say, well, I don't know.
so phase 1, they got them all back for phase 1 and they've
No,
done it
we
all
got 50% back,
on phase 1
and he's got a deadline that he has to meet of somewhere around September. I don't know the date
to have work done.
to be done.
Okay.
So we had to say, all right, no more. Contractor, okay, if we got them, do them. If you pass by them and you pave it, they're not getting done with this contract.
I would possibly, I mean, would it be possible if we do look at a city ordinance for something like that? Because there's gonna be additional cost incurred to send a contractor back,
Yes.
then I'm assuming in the ordinances, we would have to come up with an ordinance, a pay ordinance for the amount on that so that we can specify what they would have to pay, because that would probably fall under a different fee ordinance than what's already there.
Possible,
He knows what I mean, because in the ordinances, there are references to references to references that ultimately takes you to the pay scale for rates of fees for ordinance violations. So, and I don't know if this one would fit on that list, because I would imagine it may be over.
it wouldn't be your standard and typical ordinance violation though, that
Right.
code enforcement,
It'd be more, you're no longer a pre-utilities customer because you have a lead service line.
right, we're not allowed to have
It's
local
against
service lines in the system.
Okay.
And it was offered to be replaced for free,
Right.
Now you have to pay
And
for it to be reconnected as a customer for
Okay.
utilities.
take advantage of the free stuff, it's approved for you.
Yeah.
Do you have
Shut your
a
water
list
off.
of names, or do you have a number so far that have not taken advantage of this that you?
Not off the top of my head, I do not.
There's a couple hundred at least.
Yeah.
50%.
I think we were trying to do 500, but I don't have exact numbers.
Right.
There is a provision in phase 2 that contractor has to go back into phase 1 and do those ones. We're trying to have each new contract clean up what couldn't be done in the previous one. But we also want to limit this so that it's not.
So do we need to have that in place by then, so that anyone who doesn't get it done under the free period then still has to pay those extra incurred charges? Or, because that doesn't give us a very good timeline to be able to
Well, that's
put
where,
something
that's
like
where
that
the legal work has to be done. That's where
Right.
we have to look at other ordinances that other communities that already have this ordinance and have had it before the lead service line thing. But, because technically we still have 10 years to take care of those, right? So we're
okay.
ahead of the game.
Okay,
Peru
okay.
Utilities is ahead of the game. I know that's.
So as far as our contractor can still do their work to the completion of the contract we've signed
Right.
with them, but if there are people who do not do it when, at some point down the road, they're the ones who will fall into this.
But
Yes.
but everyone needs to understand that having a contractor backtrack where
Costs more
they have to load and unload, go to the next road, load and unload, go to the next road, load and unload. It costs overall project even more money. That's why it's important that we get these ROEs and when they're in that area. So like I said, we are ahead of schedule. We have taken the money, the opportunity that's here, and we've gotten ahead of the game as far as that goes. So we feel like we're in a good place. However, eventually that's going to have to happen. But like you said, we need to look at other ordinances, because there needs to be a date. There really does, to say, hey, if you don't have this done, you're done. We're cutting you off.
You gonna cut their water off?
It's unsafe, we can't provide it.
And the community, the utility, and or the city, however they deem it, how that works, gets fined for that after the drop dead date. So you have a customer with a lead service line, well, you didn't fulfill your legal obligations, so now you're gonna get fined, you're gonna get whatever they wanna do. I would assume they're just gonna write you up or whatever, but, and that includes the customer line, not our line, that includes the customer line. So there's a point where the community gets in trouble for it, even though it's been refused by even the homeowner.
And it wouldn't be any different than an inspector going in that works for the city that looks in and says, oh, you've got inferior electric lighting or inferior wiring. Peru Utilities is gonna cut your power so this place doesn't burn down until you fix it. And
Well,
the inspector has that power.
I think you get a lot of fear with that, because people are worried that if someone comes in to look at their water line, they're gonna say, oh, by the way, you need this power redone, and they don't have 30 grand to have an electrician come in and fix it because it got found while they're looking at water.
Sure, absolutely,
That's
But,
absolutely.
not a problem.
yeah.
And I get it. I don't
Yeah,
want
so
anybody coming
it's,
into my
it's
house.
understandable. So
I do, but
it's understandable. They're not just fear mongering.
And-
It's
and
understandable.
and we can't pick and
Old
choose
houses,
what
old
laws we
community.
follow, though.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have any. So, yeah. Yes, sir. You,
I'm waiting on something else. You just
Okay.
go ahead with what you're
I
doing.
am, that's all I have for the main.
That's all you got?
Yes, sir.
You say there's just letters being, what avenues are you using
Do what, I'm
to
sorry.
communicate still?
Mhm.
Are just letters on doors, or you may have said something else that I missed?
There's radio ads, TV ads, social
Radio
media
ads.
To the
ads.
personalized addresses.
Yes, there's door to door, both during the day and even in the evening.
Continuously.
So, I'm sorry, I was reminded.
Are you ready?
The meter lease, I have one more thing. The meter lease that we signed for all of the meters in our system, for all the AMI meters, was initially supposed to be paid for in 2028. It was a 10-year lease. Michelle, and all her hard work, going through our books and how we've not necessarily invested the money, but the debt service reserve money that we were required to have and the interest that we got off of that has paid that off as of this morning at 8 a.m. 2 years early.
All right.
Nice.
Good girl.
Excellent
Good.
job.
Glad to hear that.
So what that does, that gives us, when we're talking about water and that gives us that little bit extra. So for paying loans and for getting new ones, it allows us that more leeway to go back to the customer and paint water towers. What you got, Rich?
Billing.
Mhm.
What kind of mess up do we have on billing that people can't get their bills on, monthly, on time, to an address that's been there 30 years or more,
So
for example? And they had to come down here and ask for a bill, and a couple of weeks later, they get a bill.
Mhm.
What's
So,
going on
if you-
with our
if you
billing
remember-
system?
if you remember a couple-
We got our phone call system,
Right.
I hope remedied. Now let's go after the billing.
If you remember a couple meetings ago, we had talked about how there was an issue with the people that get the bills in the mail for one route, for one billing cycle. That's the only
That was a
billing
route.
issue.
I'm talking about city.
It's the postal service. We
I
can't do it
know
once
the
we send
US
it out,
Postal
we
Service
can't.
is,
Yeah.
we-
So as far as I know,
Don't get me
that's the
started on
only
that.
issue we've had with sending off bills. It was that, and that was
and
and
We've
I
even
was just
changed
curious.
hubs.
We
to
were
try
changing
and-
the system over in a billing of some kind, wasn't we, at one time or other, and it,
We went to, we changed hubs where our mailing goes so that we were hoping to try and the post office to get them out sooner. I forget, there's Chicago and I forget the other one. And we switched those and it hasn't done any.
and it hadn't done any good either.
Yeah. Our bills are not going out any different than they've always went out, except for that one.
except for the one.
Just US Postal Service is dropping the ball.
The only thing I can suggest is do an email.
And sign up for email billing. Those consistently go out.
Okay. Well, I just had that question because it was brought to my attention.
All right. That's, like I said, 2 meetings ago, 3 meetings ago, we talked about that one issue, and that.
Yeah,
Singular issue.
we forgive the late charge on that.
Right. Yeah. yeah, that
But
was-
this is entirely different. This is where they're not getting their bill, period.
Well, you can always call.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
if it was
You can
2
always
weeks,
call,
if it was 2 weeks late, I mean, somewhere in the postal system.
Okay.
Any other questions? I know I wasn't here at the meeting. I thought Mike and Jamin did a really good job of explaining their proposals and discussing what was going on with their departments. Do you have any questions that I can answer about any of those? And we will be coming to you with more information on the the tree trimming. But as you know, we always try to talk about things a few meetings in a row, so that if there are any questions or concerns that maybe we didn't think of, that we can address, or if we don't have the answer, to get you the answer. So we will be coming to you with more information on the tree trimming thing.
So can I ask, what is your opinion of doing in-house tree trimming as opposed to a professional tree trimmer?
Well, I think, first of all, we look at whether it benefits the ratepayers. But when you look at benefiting the ratepayers, you gotta look at reliability is a huge portion of that as well. It's also how it impacts their rates or future rate increases. And I believe, in the grant, we haven't compiled all the data at this point. I believe we can make a case that long-term is the best thing, both rate-wise and both reliability-wise, for the utility to have in-house tree trimmers. Other communities do this. Firstly, we've had three different tree crews over 3 years. Mike, is that correct? 3 different companies. And we've had
the lowest bid.
We always take the lowest bid for the most part. They've been unreliable. That people walk off the job, not based on what we ask them to do, based on the fact that they can't get reliable employees. We've had weeks where we haven't had a tree crew here. And you know, when you're paying anywhere from $350,000 to $450,000 a year for subpar contract work, and they're not here for 2 weeks, and then they're here for 2 weeks, and then they're not here for a week or a couple days, and they have to fulfill their contract. It's very, very difficult to get that contract done. So there's not enough time in the year to get the circuits done if they're only here for a portion of the year, even though they're contracted to do those circuits, and that's all. We're on a 16, 17 year rotation for tree trimming. Well, you guys all know that trees grow a lot in 16, 17 years.
Yep.
Simply because we have attempted to keep our costs low. And we identified this 6, 7 years ago and said, look, we're gonna have to do something, because where we were getting 30 circuits, 40 circuits for 250, 300,000, now we're getting anywhere from 17 to like 25. I don't have that in front of me. Mike did a good presentation with that. For 350, I believe 2 years ago we spent $450,000 in tree trimming. That's nothing extra, a lot of that's not even things that pop up that we say, hey, you need to go do, and they're like, well, we don't have the time, we gotta finish our circuits, we're contracted to do the circuits. So I believe that, like I said, we can make the case that an initial investment, let's just say this $500,000 for, nothing was official, there was no official, Mike was just speaking in terms of this is what we think. I believe that if we spend $500,000 on equipment, our depreciation cycle is 10 years on equipment. That's $50,000 a year for that equipment. The way we depreciate that equipment, $50,000 a year. That's the hit. We have the capital funds to do it. And then the replacement is at 10 or 12 years, maybe even more than that. You look at employee costs, you look at equipment costs, training costs. I believe that instead of upping to get a 10-year cycle to $750,000 to $1 million a year for tree trimming, which is where we should be, instead of doing that as a legacy cost at $10 million over 10 years or $7.5 million over 10 years. We have in-house with that $50,000 plus $250,000 to $300,000 in training, clothing, insurance, employees. The ratepayers in the long term are going to actually benefit from that, because it's going to be less money, first of all, because we have all year to do tree trimming. There's a lot of little things around here that need to get done, tree trimming wise. I believe in the long term, it's a no-brainer. But again, we're going to come to you with figures and facts, and it only makes sense to us. Plus, we're benefiting the community. We're adding 2-3 jobs, however many jobs we'd like to add. We're
Locally,
locally,
people within the community.
and are they high risk jobs? Less high risk than our linemen doing it with hot wires. Less high risk as our water wastewater professionals in poop up to their knees and in 6, 8, 10, 12-foot holes with water spraying on top of them, with engulfment possibilities, and you know, so it's not any more of a high risk job. It's not something we do at this point, but it's something we can do. So that long-winded, that's my opinion on it, and that's an opinion. I'll bring you the facts, costs, but we've got to get that 17-year cycle down to Mike. What are you thinking?
We're supposed to do a 10 to 12 year cut on foliage, so realistically we should be within a 10 to 12 year cycle on the circuit trimmers.
So by doing that, if you want to look at what the cost would be, think about it. We're at $350,000 right now for a 17-year cycle. $350 to $450 for a 17-year cycle. So do the math on that. Where we should be at as budgeting for tree trimming. That's $750,000 to $1 million. $750,000 to $1 million.
Is there a way to
Be more than
quantify?
that.
Do what?
Be more than that.
Possibly.
Possibly, depending on.
Well,
It
you
depends
gotta-
on what circuit we're doing, is how intense the trimming is. So, you know, we have to.
If you put it in-house, you're gonna need a bucket truck.
Mhm.
You're gonna need a chipper.
All in one.
You're gonna need a truck that you can haul this stuff away, and where are you gonna haul it to?
Already worked out.
Then you're gonna hire at least not any less than 3 people at wages, benefits, liability insurance.
You already have that.
All the little things that goes in consideration into that.
And we'll bring you the information.
Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll bring you all the information on that, because, you know, that's something that you would expect me to be able to provide you.
And somebody said, this individual said, isn't that seasonal?
No.
And I says, not if you put them in-house and they're gonna tree trim. No, they're
It's
gonna
not
be
seasonal
out there
now.
all year long.
It's not seasonal now.
And we still can't keep
Contract
up.
is not seasonal. They're here for the year. It's a year-long contract. So, trust me, there's plenty of things to do around
So
here.
the first hit's gonna cost probably roughly 2 bills. Well, I'm telling,
$500,000.
well, okay.
Now, again, we're gonna
I
bring in
don't-
information,
I don't see how you're gonna do that.
and then we're gonna hire people, and then we're gonna train
With
them.
what we've been spending on equipment and stuff for other stuff.
But again, my thoughts are
Bucket trucks out here, they were cheap.
Nope.
Then you had to equip them spatially. That's not cheap.
Nope.
No, but that's
I'm
where
just
you're
bringing
looking
up. I'm just bringing up the idea.
Yeah.
The first hit's gonna be more.
Sure.
Well, but depreciation,
but you depreciate-
depreciation carries it over a decade where you're looking at an initial
Right.
cost and not an expenditure. Think of it like making payments every year. We depreciate it every year, so it costs us up front, but it's budgeted, that expenditure's budgeted out using depreciation, so you don't look at it as, well, this year it's gonna cost a lot. You look at it as a package deal over a decade. It's gonna depreciate, there's gonna be payments. We're gonna get money back on depreciation funds to replace that equipment. When we sell it, we may be able to get more for it than what it's depreciated, which means we actually pay less for the new one. There's a lot that goes into it, but
Legitimate questions. Sure.
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Absolutely
I'm
legitimate
just,
questions.
you know,
From the outside, it's a legit question, and we'll give you all that information. Sure, we're gonna get quotes on a truck. We're gonna do all of these things.
But I would prefer we not speculate
Right.
on the
That's
cost.
what I was
Right,
gonna-
right,
that's what I was gonna say,
absolutely.
We're not
because if-
speculating on
I mean,
anything.
even if we promote an
I've been
opinion off
looking
of not
at
having the
past
actual
bills.
numbers, I just don't
Right.
think that does anybody any
Yes,
justice.
and so again, that's my opinion. You asked me my opinion, and I appreciate you asking me my opinion on that. So that's my opinion, and
That's
we'll get you the information, and we've already started moving forward on that. Because we need to budget for it if we're gonna do it.
Is there a way, in order to justify this, is there any way to quantify or put a value on some of the outages we've had? How far behind we have been on tree trimming on those circuits, just to help us justify some of that, Josh? Like with the overtime and labor that was required for those outages?
There is some way to do that. It won't be
Exactly.
exact. It will be a extrapolated number, like, well, we've got this circuit and this time, and he has all that data for the most part. We don't have an OMS system, so it's hand key papers. They go through and they enter it into the spreadsheet, so it's a little hit and miss on that.
We've had some of those outages where a tree was outside of the trimming area, fell from outside the trimming area over our wires, so that wouldn't have, it was a tree.
Still marked a tree, but we don't know if it's our tree, their tree.
It wouldn't have been ours and we'd have never known.
And we haven't reduced tree outages. We haven't. And
I think that's probably the most quantifiable number with our
am
contract.
I
we
correct
have.
on
We're
that?
not
I
reducing
don't want to be
averages.
speaking out of,
No, it's been pretty consistent,
Yeah.
even with the increase in the expenditures.
so
People's not gonna cut
So
their
we've gone
tree.
from 200,000 7-8 years ago to 452 years ago, and we have not reduced tree outages. It's not a waste of money. I mean, obviously, because we're doing it and it's working, but we're not, in my opinion, that we're not getting, the ROI is not there. So we either increase our tree trimming budget to begin to reduce outages in especially in certain areas, and almost double what we're spending now, or we take it upon ourselves to do that responsibility. So, yes, ma'am.
Are these trees that you're talking about, are they on easement? Are they in people's yards? Are they at the edge of their yards? People might be using them for shade or whatever. Is there a chance that people could be educated to step up to cut them down as they're growing up? As opposed to, well, let it grow, we'll have shade or whatever, Yeah.
Yes to all of the above as far as where these trees come from. But there are a lot of, even if they're on someone's property, if they're within that easement, within that area that we are legally allowed to cut, they're expensive. Tree trimming's expensive. I mean, you guys all know tree
Well,
trimming
yeah, that's
is
after
expensive.
they've grown up,
So the
but-
homeowners are not going to, for the most part, they're not gonna spend that money. They don't have the money to spend.
Well, that's after
$3,000,
they've grown up. I'm talking
$5,000
about
a year.
encourage them to cut them down as they're coming up. Go ahead and mow that extra 2 or 3 feet
Yeah.
of grass and weeds and young trees that are, because the birds are the ones that drop the seeds and get the.
And I don't know how we would do that. I don't, honestly. I mean, we can't get some people to trust us enough to let us replace a lead line going into their home.
Well, there is
I
that.
honestly don't, and that's a trust issue, obviously, and I get that. I honestly get it. I get all of it, so.
Yeah, I just.
Anything else from the last meeting that I could elaborate on, expand on?
Are those contracts paid, with the service provided, or are they still being paid regardless of whether somebody's out or they're restaffing or?
They're paid based on the circuits they get, so the service provided.
After completion? When
Yes.
Percentage of work
Yes,
done.
yes, I mean, they turn in that every week, how far they've gotten, and then we pay that. You guys okay that, eventually.
Percentage raise. Okay.
The last couple of years, they've ended up with multiple crews here in December to finish up the certain mileage they have to do contractually.
Which can also, so on those months when they have more people show up at the end, do we end up paying more that month because of that?
No, they're contractually.
Okay, so it still stays the
Obligated.
contractually obligated amount, okay.
They just eat the cost on spending to send an extra tree trimmers in.
Right. Which is difficult for them to do. Even if we have extra work and they're like, hey, we got contract stuff, we can't do outside work, that's T&M, that's not in the contract, we can't even get them to send another crew for T&M work because they don't have it.
Yeah.
So, and by them, I mean any of the last three contractors, which we've all used in previous years before, and no one's gotten any more reliable. Mayor, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have anything they want to say? I'll call for a motion for an adjournment.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second motion.
Okay,
Oh.
all those in favor? It's unanimous.